Hey, Roberto Monaco here with Chiro Speaking Company, Influenceology. And today I have my brother, Dr. Paul Reed. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you, man? Roberto, thank you so much for doing this and having me on. I'm stoked to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here.
I almost called you doctor, but you are actually than a lot of doctors.
I'm waiting for my honorary degree. It's so good. It's so good. Today we're talking about the Unstoppable Tour. But before, yesterday we were having dinner and Phoenix is 2 years old and he had a little ball, right? He had a little basketball, plastic, and he goes, Dada, watch this. And he gets the ball from one hand to another. Dada, watch this. And I don't care how many times I told him, like, oh, that's nice. That for like half an hour. Dada, watch this. Dada, watch this. I'm like, amazing. This is amazing. He goes, Mama, watch this. Watch this. Man, they are unstoppable. They don't stop.
Yeah.
Hours. What happened to us, right? What happened to us?
Yeah,
at some point, we stop. We stop selling. We stop influencing. We stop prospecting. We stop growing. So welcome, brother. So the first question I want to ask you is, by the way, guys, for those who are joining us at ChiroFest this year, below here, you're going to see there's a link. You can get your ticket at chirofest.org. So, Dr. Paul, you have one of the most amazing events in chiropractic in the world. I had an opportunity, super blessed, to invite me to speak a couple of years ago. Yep. And you have a new event, a new ChiroFest coming up, and you name it the Unstoppable Tour. Why you chose this name?
Brother, it comes down to, my Unstoppable Man that's going on. But really, I think chiropractors right now, we're at a tipping point with all the stuff that's happened in the last year and a half. And so I think the more that we can become unstoppable, right? The more we fill ourselves with the science, the art, and the philosophy, the more you own those, the more you exude those to your communities within your practice, outside your practice, everywhere, you're going to become unstoppable, right? That's when the practice gets into flow or into like what we call state, right? When you're in that zone, you're unstoppable, and you're going to attract new patients. You're going to deliver your message on point. And so it's just really about honing your skills and mastering who you are so that you can become unstoppable.
Yeah, I love the mindset. And you're a very successful entrepreneur to have multiple business. When do you know, you personally, I'm curious, that you were like in this unstoppable mindset? Because some people may think I already have that, but how do you know that you are there, that you're experienced, that you're living that day to day? When do you know that?
And I think when you serve something bigger than self, when you have a bigger mission than I want a full bank account, and just when you're on purpose, and when you innately know God has placed something in your heart to share a message to the world, or to your community specifically, doesn't matter. We're all designed to have different impacts, different influences in different communities. And so I think when there's something that's been placed on your heart, things just flow without you having to force them to flow, if that makes sense, right? They just, like, things align and doors open and doors close that are supposed to close. And it's really not a forced mindset. It's something that you are willing to do because it's something that you're supposed to step in the gap and fill that space.
I love that. When you feel, I always tell people, what I do, one of the things I do is speaking training. And if speaking feels like going to the DMV, you're never going to be successful. Just do it. Forget about it. So you got to be able to enjoy it. So let's talk about the Chiro Fest Impact. When I went, I think it was like maybe 4 years ago, was a big event. I got so much out of the networking, the speakers. So how long have you been doing Chiro Fest?
This would be year 10. So it's our 10-year anniversary. Would have had it last year, but we did, obviously weren't able to host. So that's why we sought out a different community that's open. Now more places are opening up, but it wasn't at the time when I had to reserve the space. And so, so it's, everybody, every year, I get, as you've been spoke on many stages and asked many docs that host many events, like, why do you do it? Because it is not easy.
No, it isn't
fun. I just had a wedding for my daughter, and this is like having a wedding times 600 chiropractors, right? So it's not easy. It's not for the faint at heart. But just having one doc, there's multiple, but just somebody comes up to me every year and says, my life changed, my practice has changed since I attended last year. whether it was something philosophically that they got off cue and got reconnected, or with their purpose. Or somebody like Deed, we have Deed Harrison coming this year, shares some latest research that gives you more certainty to communicate to your patients about what you're doing and why you're doing it and how you're doing it. And so really the impact is far and wide and affects everybody a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. And again, it's where we're at personally. Like we all show up in different places. And so we try and I try and bring enough speakers in that can hit from all different angles to give somebody something that they need to go back on Monday and be a different person in their practice. Again, to make impact for their communities. Because I
was watching the website here. Let's see if I can share. Let me see, share screen, and then we can talk a little bit about some of the lineup there. Here you go.
Hey. Yeah. Look at the technology you got, bro.
Technology is working today. You have the speaker lineup here stacked. All right. Do you want to talk a little bit about the speakers and
we got takeaways? Yeah, so we got a couple more than on there yet, but yeah. So man, Fletcher, right, science guy, been around forever. Ron Oberstein, the president of Life West right now, and that college is growing. And then next below Ron, you see Chuck Gibson, and so my theme at ChiroFest every year is the reason it started is honor the past, preserve the future. I want my kids to have principled chiropractic in their life. And that's why it started. And that's why we're where we're at. And so it's honoring guys like Dr. Chuck Gibson, a warrior for us, been around. The guy's 87. He's going to be on stage delivering a pure message.
That's so beautiful.
Oh,
that's so
man. Yeah, he's one of our warriors, right? He's one of our chiropractic warriors. And so, honoring guys like him, but then preserving the future so that, again, like I said, my kids can have principled chiropractic in their life. Obviously there's your sexy picture. We got Dave Jackson. We got a full lineup. So it's great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's fun when you see the lineup, how I love your line that you hit people from different angles, either the philosophy, the art, the science. I love that. So specifically, I have two more questions here. By the way, guys, for those interested in joining us, there's a link below here. Go to chirofast.org, get your tickets. You're almost, I believe last time we
only got like 80 left. Yeah, we only have like 80. It's a smaller venue. We can only host 500, and we're over 400 tickets already.
So just get your tickets.
Hurry up.
Get your tickets. And then, two questions. Number one, what have you learned during the last, since March last year, since this whole deal started? You personally, I always like to ask leaders, what has been the biggest lesson? What has been your biggest lesson that you learned the last since March last year?
I think it's definitely given people a lot of time to self-reflect. But what I've noticed is you can succeed no matter what. No matter the adversity, no matter the compromise, no matter the judgments, biases, whatever. I think if somebody is spot on and has the desire, the motivation to want to succeed, and getting to events like this help you succeed, you can. I think that unfortunately a lot of people just went into lockdown personally, professionally, spiritually, emotionally, and just got bombarded. And that's the Unstoppable Tour, right?
I love that. I got chills right now. The lockdown wasn't because you said something so true. The lockdown, I was just literally, I went, I'm like a 4 a.m. guy. I go to the gym every 5 o'clock. My car is parked at 4:55 before they open the door, So there's this guy, I saw this guy, and now this is South Carolina, by the way. I've been working out without masks since last May, last year. Just put the context. Not this year, last year. So this guy come in with a mask, and I'm thinking, and I always respect people, obviously. Yeah. But he didn't say anything. He goes, man, I got 30 pounds. I went to doctor. I'm having high cholesterol. All my markers are off. I've been in my house since my first time working out in a year. I mean, literally, this is like last week. Yeah. I'm like, so exactly what you said, so powerful. A lot of people, they got locked down emotionally, spiritually. It's crazy. So I think it's time for us. This is the perfect time, brother. This is the perfect time to unlock. So what's your message going to be?
Man, I sent an email out last week, Subluxation's Kryptonite, right? So Subluxation's Kryptonite is an educated chiropractor. They own their science, they own their philosophy, they own their art, right? And you're going to be able to save your community through that. And so that's going to be my message this year: is subluxation's kryptonite. That is an impacted chiropractor that owns who he is, she is certain in what they do, certain in how they communicate it, and is motivated to save lives. And so that's going to be my
awesome. Dr. Paul, thanks so much for joining us today. Get your ticket, Chiro Fest. It's going to be the date August 27th, 28th in Idaho. New event, new location. I'm excited. Never been there, so I'm super
Coeur d'Alene
excited.
is beautiful. Come early, stay late. Coeur d'Alene that time of year is amazing. It's a beautiful place to be. So
awesome, brother. Thanks so much, my man. Talk to you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bro.